Hey, what's up? Okay, so for some quick context, my room is really messy and my living room is really messy because I actually have 90% of my stuff ready. Moving in this Saturday, which is going to be really awesome. But yeah, today I got to go to the Montgomery County Fair with my friends, and that was really awesome for different reasons. Met some really cool people. Met one of my former students, which was awesome. But that's what this video is about. Today's video is actually about something I've been waiting for a while now. So thank the Lord, my playtester actually tested the game, and it was great. So to take a few steps back, the playtester I got to play test my game was on a gamer Discord, like a gamer game development Discord. So they have their own game studio. So then he, I think, is the president or so, and I just put in the thing like, oh, I have this game. Can someone please test that? And he was like, yeah, sure. He's a really cool guy. So then after some time, what he encountered like this since it's not actually registered, the Windows firewall picks it up and it's like, oh, okay, this game isn't safe to play, so you have to do some stuff behind the scenes, which I gave him the instructions to do, and then he was able to do that and actually play test the game, which is awesome. So now he's play tested the game. There's a couple comments he had, and before I get into those comments, I want to talk about something. I think when it comes to playtesters, I don't know a lot yet, but I think one of the stuff you want is when you want to have at least someone who knows game development well, so you can like that person can guide you, and you also want to have someone who's just like an average gamer, so you can get like not someone who knows behind the scenes, just someone who's just an average watcher, like someone who if screen testing is like for movies. You don't always have to have producers and directors. That you also want to have the average viewer because what they see might be different. So right now I have the game developer expert side of stuff, which I think is really awesome because at an early production stage in this game, I think it's actually more beneficial to have that. So I know where to go and what direction to ultimately just pave my way in. So yeah, let's get into the comments. So first thing, he actually brought up a good idea through a misinterpretation of what the game was. So he asked me if the game was meant to be multiple levels. I was like, not really, but because the idea of the game was that you just keep on playing and playing, and then just like a random thing you can do a bunch. But by having levels, it makes him more engaged, and it's like I think it just makes it more engaging. So I want to try that out. So what I'm thinking is I have the best of both worlds. Have like a game level mode, like a story mode in quotes, and then have just a random number thing. So just like I don't know the actual word yet. But it's one with the current state of the game, so where you can just like keep on getting random numbers, and the level mode will be different in the sense that it gets different difficulties and can have different challenges, right? So I think that'd be really cool. Um, Another thing you actually pointed out was that one of the best features to make the game more playable was actually to have a reset button. So the reset button, essentially what it would do, it would reset all the operation increments, and then all the operations will go to zero. And just to give some quick background, because for someone who doesn't know what the game is, basically it's a math game. So you have to get to number 100, and you have four available operations: adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying. But each time you use those operations, the amount it does it by increments by one, right? So by having those increments get to zero, one, like but when you reset, it makes it more playable. So I think that would be really cool. Um, yeah, so that was one thing I thought was really awesome. Another thing he pointed out is instead of having the ABC or D thing, it might be best to just have the actual number, the operation with the number is incremented by there. So I think that's actually a good idea because it simplifies what the user sees. Because another thing I was thinking of is that once you press the button, there's a little animation by the button where it's just like, oh, incrementing by one or something like that. Or under each button shows how much it's going to increment by. But if I could simplify it, instead of having under A showing that increments by 10 now, it will just be plus 10 minus 11 divided by 16 multiplied by 5, right? I think that's a good idea. One thing I do think though is that it might subtract from the quote unquote vibes of the game. So that's something I have to probably look into, but I do think it's a good idea. Um, yeah, and another thing, so this is one thing I was really curious about was the negatives. So, in the game, since the subtraction button, you can go into the negatives. I was asking him his thoughts as a player if he would want that, and he said what I could do is basically have some levels that would require you to go into the negatives. So now the thing about the levels that's really not confusing me, but I think proposes this difficulty I hadn't had in mind originally is that I have to know a way to get to those numbers. I have to know different paths. And what sucks right now, what I find really engaging as well, is that AI or the proper AI models aren't really able to do this game properly. So my idea was to find solutions or test like their skill. Was like, okay, you I explained the game to them. I said, okay, now try and get to this number. But they weren't able to do that. I don't think they're at that level. Maybe with GPT-5 or Claude 3.5 Sonnet might be able to do that, but haven't. GPT-5 isn't out yet, and Claude I haven't purchased it, so I'm not sure. I doubt. Well, for Claude 3.5 Sonnet, I'm just based off the current model, the last model. I don't know. I doubt it can, but who knows? If but to be fair, it's better in programming than all the other models so far. So I think it should be able to do much better. So that'll be interesting to see for sure. Um, Besides that, though, he just gave me a lot of recommendations for games to draw inspiration from for other ideas and the direction I should go in. So he recommended games like Portal, Portal One and Portal Two. What's he recommend? Sorry. And Braid, and another one he recommended was Steven Sausage Roll. So I'm going to trying all of those games to see what they're like. At least try Portal One and Two because I'm interested in those games. And then yeah, that's where I am with the game. Can't wait to actually make all those changes and implementations. So next version should be really cool. Okay, have a great day.